this mic so you can hear me now. I apologize, people. It's Friday night. Having to switch to that mic. Let me go into my audio source and find out what's going on here. Wow, really bad start to this one. The audio, I've got desktop audio disabled. I have Logitech Brio as my microphone. Not a clue why that is not working. Oh well, I guess we'll just have to go with the other mic. Can you guys hear me okay through the other mic? Is that loud enough? Yes, haircut. DIY Solar Energy notices. By the way, yeah, he hasn't even seen that. Can you hear me okay through that audio?
Yeah, I can hear you. It's a little bit low. If you want to bump the audio up or move that camera a little closer to you.
Okay, yeah, let me just pop this up to here. Little rattly sounds probably, everyone. How's that sound? You'll know, I'll know in 30 seconds. I'll know in 30 seconds. All right, let's see what we've got here. Hello to everyone, episode 12 already. First one on a Friday. First one. And as you can see, yes, I got my hair cut. It's still wet. I just got out of the shower, headed down here. So just want to give some haze. If I skip you over, I always look back. See, Broad Boy, Aiden Thomas, Mr. 43, Cole Miller, wow, a bunch of people. Okay, I'm not going to be able to name off everyone here, but I'm scrolling through and I'm looking. I see Grayleaf and Harry Grimley. There's two patrons there. Hello to you guys. Scene Creative. A lot of people here. So hello to everyone. This is going to be probably a little shorter than normal. I apologize, they've got a bunch of background noise, but I have my air conditioner on because it's baking in here. And for some reason, my Brio mic is not working. I don't know what is up with the old Brio mic. It ain't working. So yeah, whatever's going on there, I can't fix. I'm having to use my other mic off my cheap webcam. This little Nexigo, it's like a $34. There's our audio right now, a $34 webcam. Probably shouldn't be moving that while I'm talking through it, right? So I apologize for that. But I have my usual 5 topics. I'm making this a High Five Friday. So I'm going to do some high five stuff. I even have an entire little slideshow set up with the high fives that I want to do. But I want to go over a couple of things. Number one, I had that poll that was what day are the live streams more popular on? And Friday, overwhelmingly, was the most popular. However, I don't want to lock down to just Friday. And I started thinking there's so many people, I was like, well, I work on that day, or I work on that evening, or I work on this day, or something's going on. So what I think I'm going to do, I think I'm going to start doing live streams about 3 times a month. And I think I'm going to alternate it. I'll do one on a Monday, one on a Wednesday, and one on a Friday. So that should give the most people the biggest opportunity to possibly be able to come in and see a live stream. Stretch it out and help out that way. So that's what I think we're going to do. Even though Friday was the #1 most popular, we'll see how this goes. See how it goes. As a few people pointed out, a lot of people do live streams on Friday, and everyone can't watch every live stream. And plus, a lot of people go out on Friday, especially now that things are slowly opening back up. Whether that's good or not, we'll see. But now that things are opening back up, I'm sure there are a lot of people that are out rather than watching live streams. Myself, I watch live streams on Fridays and watch YouTube videos and things like that. So let me, before I get to the first topic, which is a quick one, give a quick look here and see. We've got to see Casey Barrett. I see the Ellie or Eli? Ellie. I think it's Ellie, maybe. So fresh and so clean. Not sure what you're talking about there, but whatever works. And then Ethan Wynn. Giggity for you. Giggity for you. Giggity for you. Is that I'm seeing that properly? Is that like a Family Guy thing? Giggity. Can I have the free bike? Well, we're going to find out who gets that free bike at the end of this live stream. And it is this bike right here. This Schwinn aluminum comp that was on Instagram as the giveaway bike. And then I'm going to show you the bike that's right over here that I'm going to wheel in to be the next giveaway bike. So we'll see how that goes. And I see TKMX, hello from Mexico. Well, hello to you. I appreciate you being here. You're here a lot. And I see, is it Eli? I think it's Eli. I keep saying that, but thumbs up. Appreciate that. And give this stream a thumbs up. That helps the channel. It really does. Really helps out a lot. So yeah, and get your high five hands ready. Wow, the AC finally cut off. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. Alexa, turn off the barn plug. I'll turn off this fan. That may help. That may help too.
Sorry, I didn't find a device named fan.
Alexa, turn off the barn plug. There we go. That's a little less. And of course now I've got my fan down here keeping me cool because man, it's baking in here. Okay, so, and we're going to have 95 degrees in a couple of days. Shirts, yeah, there's just a couple of shirts. I have more shirts, but I'm not going to show all the shirts. I did have them all lined up on a couple of live streams here. But I've been wearing a few. You know, I have on one of my favorites now. I really like this circle logo. And it's, oh wait, I see another. I made a rookie mistake. Total rookie mistake. When I got my hair cut. So yeah, big difference with the hair. But when I got my hair cut, my friend that cuts it, she actually did it outside of her salon. She had a chair set up, a nice little table set up. It was windy and crazy, so the little apron thing was blowing. I just balled it up, didn't do anything with it, and hair was falling all over. I washed this shirt with that shirt that I had on. I had hairs all over it. Long, so the hair everywhere. I didn't even check it out, I didn't think about it. I just wadded up clothes, put it in. Pretty sure every single hair stuck to this shirt. So I was picking for a while, and somehow they're all in the front. I don't know what's up with that. But yeah, so nice shirts. I'd rock the black one, the yellow one. Oh, okay. Well, you can buy them at KevCentral.store. You want to head over. As a matter of fact, let me show you this. I designed a new one that kind of goes along with this XP. You know, it has those little chevrons right there. And I mentioned in that video that I had designed I was working on a logo. I had them spaced out, but I put them closer together. So there it is. That's the new design. 80s inspired with that 80s gradient kind of leading into the, well, technically it's leading away, but with the KevCentral logo on it. So that will be up on KevCentral.store. It's probably not up there right now because when I upload a design, it usually takes overnight because I did a custom URL in the store. For some reason, if you don't, it's instant. If you do, it's a custom URL thing and it doesn't kick in until midnight. So I may see if I can text over a link to DIY Solar Energy here in just a bit. But anyway, that's a new design. I really like that. The 80s gradient. I have one on order, but I just uploaded and created that today. So yeah, shirts. Anyway, oh, and I have these new non-holographic. I haven't even uploaded these to my eBay yet because I sell stickers on eBay, but I have the new holographic with that mountain bike design. But yeah, I do like this, I think. And free bike is Harry Grimley's favorite color. Well, I can tell you right now, Mr. Grimley, unfortunately, you're not the winner. I did the winner. I'll get to that in just a minute. But am I keeping both XPs? Actually, you can't see it, but that's the new one. That's the 4.0, the 1.0 with 4.0 inch tires. The 1.0, so this 2.0, 1.0, and then right over here, you can kind of see a little bit of it. Right there's the folded pedal. That giggity moment there is the folded pedal, and that is the step through. So there are three XPs sitting here. And I love that new XP. I'm torn about that, and that's getting into my first thing. So Ozzy Diaz likes that new design. It's hot. Thank you, Ozzy Diaz. That's what he's talking about. I really like that. I really do. And if you knew how long I worked on that, and actually, little secret about that design. You'll look up here. There's my classic KevCentral logo. Well, you can look right here. And the orange, this orange, I couldn't get a gradient that went down to a yellow from this orange that didn't turn into a too pale yellow. So that's the only shirt that actually has a KevCentral logo that the orange is a shade darker. because the actual KevCentral orange is one little chevron before the KevCentral logo. So unique shirt. And I think that one's going to be popular. I know I can't wait to get mine. I ordered that first one, but it takes a couple of weeks, to get those shirts in. So let's talk. How much money did the XR Pro upgrade cost? Eric Moss. Wow, that's been a long time. It's in the video. If you watch the video, I mention it, I think. But I want to say I had $1,200 in that all total, I think. But it was spread out over gosh knows how long it took me to do that. I'm new. The raffle included new people, Lou. New people too. Or laugh out loud. Okay, that was supposed to be a laugh out loud. I thought that was Ohio State spelling. Oh, a little slam there for the Ohio. No, I like the Buckeyes. So, matter of fact, you guys have some candy up there, some Buckeye candy. It's really good, really good. But Nick D'Amico, no, there was a specific thing they had to go through to get the raffle. We'll talk about, or it's not raffle, to get to the bike giveaway. But number one thing that I wanted to talk about, or not number one thing, the first thing was the Electric XP. This 1.0, I hope that you have all seen the video. Very, very good bike. Surprising to me when they told me that, they told me, I knew that it was going to have smaller wheels. They told me 3.5, the person I talked to. But it turns out that it was the 3.0. And I was even worried about 3.5 because I really like the 4.0, those little fat tires. They just look so good. But there are downsides to fat tires. They can dig in, but they don't ride like a regular bike. It doesn't flow like a regular bike. And you know what I'm talking about if you've ridden fat tires. They're kind of wide turn and then they dig. It's like they bite. It's not a flowy, and you get them smaller, and it's a totally different experience. More bike-like with this new XP, which I like, the wider bars and stuff like that. But I want to talk about those 3.0 versus 4.0. Because there's been some back and forth about that I've seen in comments. And, it's to each their own. And I, too, like the 4.0, but I also think this is a better riding bike as far as from a bike standard. Because I mentioned in that first video I ever did on the Electric XP that it was like a scooter. It rode more like a scooter. Because I'm up and those bars were narrow. It was like I was on a big scooter that I could sit on. Is basically what it was, with a lot of power. And now it rides more like a traditional bike, and I think that's going to open it up to a wider market because it rides more like a bike, what people are used to. And trust me, from having sold scooters, not the stand-up scooters or the little small scooters, I'm talking like Vespa. I didn't sell the Vespa brand. I sold Chinese scooters. But selling moped-style scooters, I can't tell you how many times people would, oh yeah, I can ride this, and about a day or two after buying them would come back and need parts where they had ran them, got on it, and it kind of got away from them. It's a 35, or it's a 50cc, it does 30 miles an hour. So, how to get away from you exactly. But that's just the thing, so I can only imagine. I've seen that very popular in the RV community. The electric and all folding bikes, because I can stow them so easy. So, and I watch a lot of RV videos because it's my dream to get an RV. That's all the super chat money and all that goes to a RV fund that's probably a year plus away at best, because I've got to find a cheap one and they're all bought up right now. But being RV people, I watch them ride when I'm watching the YouTube videos, and it's all the telltale signs of people that don't ride bikes a lot, or not all, but some. The drop pedal, the kind of wavering when they go to start and when they stop off. I see it a lot, especially with e-bikes. And you're doing something that can do 28 miles an hour and has a lot of punch. I could imagine that it would be better if it rode more like a traditional bike rather than a hopped up scooter on steroids. So there's that. Also, I want to talk about battery capacity really quickly. My English is failing. But a lot of people noticed that it was 9.6 volts for this new battery. I noticed it myself because it shocked me. I have somewhere in here, I have my prototypes battery, and it was a 10.5 amp hour, I think it was. And I thought the production ones after that were even more. So a little shocking on that, but I'm getting the same range with either. When I put, or excuse me, I'm getting the same range as my prototype with its battery, with its higher milliamp hour battery, than I am with this with the 9.6, I think it was 9.5, 9.6. I'm thinking some of that's due to the smaller tires. They're not as wide, but they're not so wide. And I'm going to do a side-by-side comparison because they're not so different. I don't think many people would notice. I really don't. And I stood back earlier today looking at them and just stood and looked at them. They're all lined up in here because initially I was going to have them unfolded, all of them. And, you know, from a side view, and even with the tire turn, it wasn't very obvious that it wasn't, because they're still fat-ish. It just wasn't very obvious. And when you pull them up nose to nose, you can kind of see, I can see it, but I don't know. And I might get DIY Solar Energy, moderator extraordinaire. Everyone give him a thumbs up because he does such a good job. But he didn't notice that the on-way tire was more narrow than the tire on the Rattan, which are both wider tires. And when I mentioned it to him, then he noticed it. So this isn't really much different than that on-way tire, because even though the on-way says, there are a lot of brands out there that it'll be 20 by 4.0, but there is a big difference. And if you guys ride mountain bikes, you know, you can have a 25 by 2.2 and have it next to another brand's 25 by 2.2, and there can be a massive difference in how wide that tire is, how it sits in that rim. Same thing with these tires, these little 20-inch tires. So it's not that bad. I'll do a side-by-side on that. But yeah, the 3.0 and the battery capacity is pretty much the main topics that I wanted to get on this. And you may hear stereos bumping in the background. It is Friday night, and my neighborhood loves loud stereos. So there is that wonderful, wonderful, very much refined. Oh, I'm gonna hop away from the camera for a second. I'm gonna show. Let me get Copernicus. I'll park him right there. I don't know why I have him in every shot, but I do. But I want to show you guys. I made one mistake in my video review. There were some cage bosses down low behind the seat tube, and I said possibly that those were for a water bottle mount. Well, they are not. Turns out they're for a lock, as many people pointed out. But as you can see, I engineered a water bottle holder to sit right there perfectly behind that seat. And this is my concept. I have a new part on the way. Next week, I will have a permanently mounted water bottle cage right behind the seat on this electric XP, this new electric XP. And I'll take Copernicus with me. Taking Copernicus up here to say hi to you guys. But I will have that, my proof of concept, into actual production model, and then I'll share my secret with Electric, because they may want to pick up the product that I'm doing it with, because that's a good upgrade, I think. So I want to see what you guys think. Get over here to chat and look down and see what everyone says. Greatly, if you guys are talking about XPs, no doubt. And yes, my hat is off, Dennis Wynn, haircut and all, including. It's almost dry now. It's pretty much dry now. But comment if you're impressed with my water bottle cage, because I am. I am absolutely impressed with how that works. And quality Alabama engineering. You've been around Alabama? Because that's what we say. We say that's Alabama engineering. So, but by the way, that's kind of a facetious, because we have a lot of NASA a lot of NASA scientists are in Alabama. So ironic that a state that's 49 out of 50 ranking on the bad side of education has a lot of the NASA scientists, not most, but a lot, quite a bit, not far from me. What's a good bike other than the XR Pro? My XR Pro snapped. Oh, is that an O snap? Should I do the? Is that an O snap? Or like, what happened? It should be a good hard center bike at Walmart. Man, if you're snapping Anthony Silvestri, if you are snapping XR Pro frames, which is pretty tough, if you're snapping those, you need to go to the local bike shop. And because what you're doing is out of the realm, you know, you're taking drops and jumps and stuff like that. You need a bike built specifically for that. You don't want to hurt yourself because that could easily happen. So in there, yeah, Thio, I'm so glad you're here. Thio Semicarbazide Benzoyl Alcohol. I am so glad he's here because he is an XR Pro evangelist. And I instantly, when you said it snapped, I thought of him. I thought, well, I wish he could see that. And instantly, how did you snap your XR Pro? How did it snap? So we all want to know. Inquiring minds want to know because you know that XR Pro came back on the market out of nowhere. Didn't get told anything, and all of a sudden, I looked through every day, and it happened to be right when I was looking. People started messaging at the same time, and we all discovered that this thing was back. And it's came and went a couple of times in the past week, 2 weeks that happened. So, yeah. And how many bikes do I have? Hey, Pedro Fernandez, hello to you. Can you reach the water bottle as you ride? Absolutely. Maybe. I haven't tested it. In theory, I can. I know when I was standing, I could do that, but I don't know about all right. I got to find out. Let's see. So, if I'm on the bike, all right, so I've been pedaling. I'm all tired because I'm on pedal assist 1. Would never happen, but could I reach it? Yeah, I can totally reach it. Can I put it back in without looking? No. Maybe if I had practice, I could put it back in without looking. But yes, Pedro Fernandez, I can reach my new concept water bottle while I'm on the bike. There you go. Now, if I was taller, I'm 5'10". If I was taller, I don't know. I don't know if I'd be able to do that. But then again, if I was taller, I would have longer arms. So probably so for everyone. All right. And good job, Kev. Uncle Bobby. Hey, Uncle Bobby, another regular here. Hello to you. I appreciate you being here on a Friday evening. So thank you. I hope you got to see my water bottle thing. And yes, outdoor enthusiast, I did get a haircut, and I agree with you, Thio, right above that the XR is a tough frame. That is a well-built frame. It is a well-built frame, so I'm surprised someone was able to, well, actually not, because depending upon what you're doing on a bike, I mean, I'm sure if someone really tried, they could take the most awesome high-end mountain bike and snap that frame. So I got sidetracked. Because I was talking about the XR Pro. I do want to mention something really quick, backtrack on the XR Pro. I've seen a few comments of people that pre-ordered and it got delayed. So I don't know what's up with that. I mentioned to Electric that they may want to look at the comments. So they said they were having their social media person get on it. So don't be surprised if you're in here and you'd commented about a bike getting delayed or something. If you start seeing Electric come in and reply to your comments, I hope they do. Because I don't know anything about any delays, but I do know that there were some people that were shocked. And I think a lot of people aren't paying attention to the fact that that button is a pre-order button. It's not a click and buy it now. Because, you know, we're a society of want it now. And that's how Amazon got to be so powerful. So that on the XR Pro, but also segues into my number 2 topic tonight, which is what's with all the e-bikes? Now, I get regular messages. Well, you know, everyone's a critic, and that's fine. That's fine. You have the right to be a critic. If you subscribe to a channel and you regularly watch it, you can critique. Plus, I don't mind a critique. But it is funny that there is a segment, we've talked about this numerous times, of the bike riding community, getting a little loud from my air conditioner, of the bike riding community that does not like e-bikes. And whatever, you know, whatever, they're coming. They're not going anywhere. We've talked about that. I'm not going to beat that horse. But the point is, I'm getting asked right now why I'm doing so many e-bikes. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. Because I have 2 e-bikes in my living room. One that we'll be seeing Sunday. one that we may be seeing almost immediately after that, in the next day or two. It depends upon how much of the footage I can get edited, because I have so much footage, so much footage, so much wasted footage trying to manipulate with the new, trying to get my Osmo angle right. But, and I'm going to talk about that in just a second as well. But I have that. I have another e-bike coming. I have some follow-ups on e-bikes to do. So it's going to be a lot of e-bikes, which is probably good because it's already going to be 95 degrees here on Tuesday and humid. Our July humidity is going to hit early. I don't handle humidity well, even though I live in the South, which makes no sense. But it's the way it is. I get to complain about it though. But people are asking why so many e-bikes. But ironically, I'm also having people ask, well, I'm not doing more e-bikes. So it's kind of funny. It's what you want to see, right? If it's not everything you want to see, it's something you don't. We want more of what you want to see. But this channel will always be primarily big box bike focused, and most of that will be big box mountain bikes. But e-bikes are coming, even big box style, as we saw with those two hypers. Those two hypers that are so nice for the money. And that's another thing I will give Thio credit on. He was trying to get me to buy that Hyper E-Ride Mountain forever, and I shunned it because of the rim brakes. And now that it's so cheap, and he even tried to get me to buy it, was $398. Would have been a steal, $398. But now it even at $578, which I think is what it's at right now, and $598 is the regular. However, they're doing that pricing under $600, even with those rim brakes. Pretty good bike. It's a pretty fun bike. I took it out to the trail that I used in the video for it. It breezed through that trail. It was so fun. So fun. If I would have had better tires so I could grip a little better, because those were there's some little bit of loose gravel out there, but those were pretty good. And it's kind of funny. I heard someone talking about a high-end e-bike and taking it out there just the other day. And I didn't say anything, but they talked about how well it did, and I thought, well, I had a under $600 e-bike that did very well as well. So there with your $6,000 one, but that $6,000 one was pretty awesome. You'll see a picture of it coming up in another video. But the reason that there are so many e-bikes right now, number one, as I've said, that's kind of where things are heading. Now, regular bikes, obviously, never going to go away. Always going to be a large percentage of the market just because of price. But e-bikes are getting more affordable, and they get more people into cycling, and the people that are in cycling can ride longer. Case in point, me. July to August, someone just bought a sticker. Thank you, whoever did that. I heard the tone, so thank you. I appreciate that. And I've got that thing too. If somebody buys a shirt, it should pop up on the screen here. And I'll take just about 45 seconds here in just a minute and send a link to that new shirt, because I don't think it's on the store yet. And I'm talking about this design for the people just joining. Brand new design. Probably my favorite. I like so many of them, but I really like this. Yeah, but anyway, not a sales pitch, not going into full-on sales, but the market is just shifting to e-bikes. So that's why there's so many coming out. And with it getting warm, talking about people riding longer, when it gets into August in Alabama, it is absolutely miserable. I mean miserable. It's 100 degrees. It's 1,000,000,000% humidity. I'm convinced I can't even measure it. It's such high humidity. No joke. You can walk outside your door, stand in the shade, and within 30 seconds, you'll be sweating through your shirt. It's horrible. Be in the shower and feel like you're sweating in the shower. Horrible. Horrible. I don't even like to ride on the mountain bike trail because I don't handle heat all that well. In August, my mountain bike riding is very limited because I've overheated. DIY Solar Energy can even tell. Maybe one day we'll tell the story about this. The day that we both overheated out on the trail, and I seriously thought I was going to have to go to the hospital. I was laying in the bed of my truck. I could feel heat radiating off of my skin like it was. Like you could look at the asphalt on a summer day and see that ripple. I was expecting to see that coming off my skin. That's what I felt like. And thank goodness I had him with me, because I reached into my cooler and I grabbed a Gatorade, and he knocked it out of my hands and made me drink the Gatorade that he had. Now that I think back, I probably already drank out of it. but he let me drink his warm Gatorade because he knew that would be a shock to the system. And didn't you have to go to the hospital a couple of days after that because you were drinking that Gatorade that had the at that point?
That was Mikey.
That was Mikey. Okay. Well, one of them had but you were with me when we overheated, right?
Yeah, that was the one that gave me that warm Gatorade.
Okay. Well, so he was the one that saved me with the Gatorade, but his friend actually had to go to the hospital after overheating. He drank one of those cheap off-brand Gatorades that had the whatever sugar substitute that's really bad on your kidneys, and ended up having a little kidney infection thing, but probably not related. But sounds good to say that it was. But so e-bikes are our trend, and that's what's shipping right now. More e-bikes coming in the country, and the only reason I can figure that is because they're getting so popular. All these companies were ordering them more so than the traditional mountain bikes, which had gotten bought up, so they couldn't get any more in. But these e-bike companies, being higher priced, had already ordered them, and they're still coming in with their regular stream. So that's why I think we're seeing more of them right now. Aside from the fact that it's just a popular thing. And I enjoy e-bikes, and I'm telling you, slippery slope, definitely, but also so fun. Oh my gosh. I took this one e-bike that you're going to see in just a few days. I took that the other day and rode it on the highest pedal assist. I can't remember how many miles. I think it was 18 and a half miles, something like that. I got out of it on the highest pedal assist, doing 30 miles an hour. At the highest pedal assist, flying all over town, and I had a camera on the back. I don't think I'm going to put some of the footage. I had a camera on the back of the bike. For some reason, I didn't put one on the front on that ride, but I had one on the back of the bike, and I was doing a hyperlapse. Matter of fact, it was the Osmo, because the hyperlapse so awesome on the Osmo. But I was doing a hyperlapse, and I was going down one of the roads in town that was 25 miles an hour, and I was on the side of the road, actually in the bike lane, zipping it. And I noticed when I got home, well, how about that? None of those cars could pass me because I was going faster than they could go on that 25-mile-an-hour road. So here was this bike. So you can imagine that red light changes, a bike takes off just super fast, and you're trucking it down at 25, and some guy's just leisurely pedaling, and he's pulling away from you. It's kind of funny. But that's all on the e-bikes. No, I'm not going to make this an e-bike talk. So let me get back here. I'm curious to see if anyone mentioned e-bike. Well, e-bikes snap easier. Well, it depends upon Anthony. You're the one that snapped the XR Pro, right? They weigh more. So, probably if you're doing crazy stuff on them. Although I saw that it's the CycleWorks Impact Taser something or another. It's $57.99 full suspension e-bike that looked like it could handle just about anything that you could throw at it. So there you go on that. And somebody said, hey, Lisa Taylor, hello to you. Thank you for being here. And again, everyone, I'll read all your comments later, even if I skip over it by accident. And thank you, Evan Gardner. You like my hair? I appreciate it. It's just wet and now dried hair. So it's kind of curly. It curls, but it's humid Alabama, so it'll frizz because it's yeah. Hey, Antonio Rodriguez, you made it. Well, welcome. Kenny Graves, your 2021 Axum DP and medium came in. Awesome. Do you like to see the medium? So you got the same color I have, the Spider-Man colors, the red and the blue. Do you like that? That coloring? Pretty nice, right? Get the Hyper and switch to the fork. Theo is talking about that Hyper E-Ride Mountain, and I am switching that fork, Theo, so you'll get to see that on my channel, and maybe if someone else wants to do that, they'll see what can be done there. Greyleaf saying hello to Sonia. So Sonia is here. Man, getting all of our regulars. A little worried about the Friday night thing because, so many people out and about. Let's see, we have 107. That's decent, respectable, not the highs, 108 now. Not the highs that we've had before, but as I mentioned going into this, I'm going to start doing live streams, one on a Monday, one on a Wednesday, one on a Friday, so 3 a month, maybe 4. I might throw in 4. and maybe do them once a week because that seems to be popular with a lot of people. But I'm going to do at least 3 a month, and I'm going to spread it out. I'll do one on a Monday, and then the next one on a Wednesday, and the next one on a Friday, or vice versa. I might shake it up a little bit. That way everyone can get involved and see what's going on. Hey, Daily Mountain Bike Rider, hello to you. She challenged, let's see, Lisa challenges me to build an old bicycle that's from the 50s or 60s. I will not accept that challenge because that stuff gets expensive to work on. And I helped out in a bike shop long enough that did those old bikes to see how much trouble he had getting bottom brackets and all that stuff off from that old stuff. Not for me. Not for me. Let's see, hey Kev, can the Hyper E mountain bike take a different cassette? Well, Daily Mountain Bike Rider, that is not a cassette, it is a freewheel. So, yeah, I mean, if you found a different freewheel, as a matter of fact, I don't have it here with me, but another one of my favorite new bikes is an e-bike, and it's that Hemiway that I finally got the fork replaced on. It rides so good. I was out on it earlier today, and just braking. Man, those brakes are loud, driving me crazy. I'm trying to get those cleaned up, but they even put new pads. Bought some corky pads and put on it, these copper pads, because that's what they had on it to handle the heat. Still loud. I'd clean the rotor, so battling with that, but might have to bake all that stuff. But it takes a freewheel, and I bought an 11 to 28 tooth instead of, it has a 14 to 28, but it runs out of pedal. So I'm trying to step it down. So you could technically do that on the Hyper, but I don't think you need it on the Hyper. It's a 250 watt motor. It doesn't put out, it's not, people slam those 250 watt motors, but for what that bike is and what it needs to do, it's more than enough. It works out perfectly, and it doesn't run out of pedal when I'm in the highest gear. So I don't think it needs anything, and it doesn't make much sense to put a lower, like a mega range, where you're getting a lower low on an e-bike, because your pedal assist would right away mitigate that. So I don't think you need that, and it doesn't take a cassette. So there you go. Hope that answered your question. Bikes with Mike, cool name. Just got a 29er Carbon X for $100. Man, what a score. Almost tonight. Right over here, I was going to have the Carbon X 29er on a stand, and I almost was going to strip that frame, strip it down to the bare frame live on a live stream here. And that was almost going to be my topic, my main topic tonight. And then the other things came up, thanks to DIY Solar Energy, who reminded me that I had a bike giveaway that I had to do, and actually wanted to enter. I wouldn't let him. So he's not getting that bike, but he has some good bikes. He has some good bikes, and one of which we're going to talk about. So I'm going to let him, a relay anyway. I don't know if you'll be able to hear him with this mic, but I'm going to let him mention about one of them because it'll be in the topics here. So let me give a quick glance. See, Harry Grimley mentioning something there. So Kenny Graves, totally eating the B-dubs on the patio, watching this currently, eating at B-dubs on the patio, watching it. Wow, well, that's awesome. Get more people to watch. Get more people to watch, right? You're a new subscriber? Well, thank you, Nathaniel. I'm glad that you are here. Just wanted to say thanks for the vids. You've brightened my day countless times. I really like hearing that. That's really nice. Thank you. I have PTSD and autism and can't drive without an endorsement, but I can ride my bike. Love my rad. It's a rad e-bike. That's what your rad? Is that what you're riding with your rad? Well, that is awesome. Very positive motivation for you there as well. That is super awesome. Thank you for sharing that. Rad e-bikes, had an email from them earlier today. I haven't responded yet, but it may be that I'm going to look at a rad e-bike. Can't wait, because make some good bikes. Make some good bikes. 8-speed freewheel with a 42 tooth is what Theo is saying. I'm assuming in reference to the Hyper E-Ride. But I don't think, I'm going to disagree with that. Not that I respect your opinion, Style, but I'm going to disagree with that because I don't think you need a 42 tooth because it's an e-bike. So you don't need it to be any easier to pedal, because even at the lowest pedal assist, it's pretty easy to start off in the lowest gears already. So go with that. The ups, Daily Mountain Bike Rider. The Hyper needs a clutch derailleur and a narrow wide badly. But are you talking about the Hyper E-Ride needs a clutch derailleur? It does get bouncy. You're out on a trail, but as I mentioned in my video review, not really the best bike to ride mountain bike trails on. For smooth packed trails, it's fine, and in that case, the derailleur is okay for what it has to do. Just not much. We've got wow, a lot of people that I never seen the names of before. Julius Robinson, message retracted. Well, hello, welcome. Thank you for being here. I see you need one to ride to work, so you retyped there. 60 Schwinns aren't too bad. Sword, Quilava. Yeah, I saw them work on those, and they were pretty tough. They're pretty tough getting some of that. I mean, that's a lot of caked on. Some of that stuff's been sitting since the 60s, so it can be pretty rough. And Sonia, looks like Sonia's parting with us. Well, goodbye, Sonia. Thank you for dropping by. I appreciate it. You're on a Friday. And also, well, I'll check that later. See, Hyperwolf. Hey, Kev, I was wondering, the new Electric 2.0, is it possible to switch out the 3-inch tire with the 4-inch tires? No. The fork is not wide enough. It's trimmed down to fit those 3-inch tires I measured. So no, you can't put 4-inch tires on it. Doug's e-bike, Kev, a good luck with the Mosi pads on Amazon. Thank you, Dimos. Okay, I'll look that up. I thank you for sharing that. Mike Cruz says hi. Hello to you. Singerish. Wait, there's a bike giveaway. Came late. Well, actually, if you didn't get in on the bike giveaway, which is already, all the entries are already in, then you're not going to win. So, as a matter of fact, I need to even check. I'll have to throw it in because we've got a winner selected, and I'll get to that. But I'll have to throw up. I was going to put up their little I was going to put up their message that actually won just by random chance there. Got your XR Pro, waiting on the Dolomite ALX. Come back in stock. Good bike, Sean. So good there. Awesome. 2 Kosher, got a rad mini step through. Pretty awesome. I don't know what bike I will look at of theirs if it gets a point that I do get to look at one of their bikes. But you're in Kansas. That's awesome. Do you miss High Five Fridays? No, you did not. We're about to do High Five Fridays. So you did not miss that Downtime Adventures. Just about there. I was just trying to catch up on comments here. How do you enter? Too late, Tom Ray, to enter to win. Backwards. Too late to enter to win this bike. Someone else already chosen going to win this bike, but I'm going to start a new drawing giveaway, which will be tomorrow with the bike that's right over here that I'll be wheeling in. Be the last thing we do tonight. And then I'll wheel that in and show you the next giveaway bike. So let me move on. Kevin, late on the chat. When can we expect an update on the Ride 1-Up Roadster? That'll be coming fairly soon. I've got a few other bikes to get in, but I would expect it June, maybe early July, because I'll be riding a lot of e-bikes when it heats up. It really helps out. Really, really helps out. So let's get into High Five Fridays. Press my button here, and I'm going to be squinting to read these because I'm having to look at the screen. So if you see me leaning in, that's why. So let me get into this, and I don't know if this is going to pause or not. See if I can arrow through it. I think I paused it. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so I got it down now. I have my controls down. So, apparently I don't. Let me go back, restart, and pause. So L. Ron T. Rich asks, hey Kev, silly question. No questions are silly. Can you remove the blue accent stickers on the Axum if you so please, or are they painted on? Well, I don't know if they're painted on. Well, that's kind of right in the way of my head there, isn't it? I don't know if they're painted on or if they are an applique and then they're clear coated over, because that's what a lot of companies do. But no, you can't remove them. They're clear coated over. I mean, I'm sure you can remove them if you want to sand them off. But no, you won't be removing them with the way they are anyway. So this is about the project boundary. This is from Michael TMG. Oh, get back to you, Michael. Oh, this is horrible. It's not working well at all, is it? Get back to you, Michael. There's Rich. There's Michael. See if I can pause it. Can you put a 9-speed cassette on the stock wheel of the Boundary? Why is it not pausing? It's supposed to pause. I'll just restart it every time and then catch up to where we're at. You cannot put a cassette. Wasn't that his question? What was his question here? Can you put a 9-speed cassette on the stock wheel of the Boundary? You can put a 9-speed freewheel, but then you would have to change the derailleur and so on, because the Boundary comes with a freewheel from the factory, not a cassette. Molson 1990, he asked about the Redux 3, another solid bike from his favorite bike company, and I like Raleigh too. I know this video is 4 years old, but that bike is a looker. There's going to be a reason that I put this in here, and you will see in just a minute, or you all will see. Alan Lynn said 250 watts isn't much. They were talking about the Schwinn Sidewinder that has that 250 watt motor. True, 250 watts is not a lot, but it's not too little for most applications. Everything that bike would do, the 250 watts is going to be fine, just like it is on the Hyper E-Ride Mountain and the Hyper E-Ride City, and my, sticking way off over there, my little Z1 from Uniro, that's a 250 watt motor, does just fine. So depending upon the application, 250 watts can be fine. This is from Gina Wasco. Wasco like Costco. I haven't seen them in here tonight, but some of our regulars, also patrons, they asked in the last live stream and I missed it. So I wanted to put this in here. Can you share what the glitches are with the GoPro Hero 9? Well, I don't have a 9, I have an 8. I have an 8, a 7, a 6, and session 5s and all that stuff. And of course you saw that I tried to convert, that's all backwards. I tried to convert to the Osmo, which I've ended up using quite a bit. Down here, which I've ended up using quite a bit, Gina. But the glitches that I have seen, and I was even watching videos about this earlier today, and they still persist with the GoPro, but it's nothing that really GoPros haven't had a problem with to begin with. And you know what I'm talking about if you have a GoPro. It's inevitable that you're going to be filming and you're going to click to stop. So you click to start recording. I don't think there's an SD card in here. Yeah, there's not. And then you click to stop and it does the 4 beeps. And nothing will, it does those 4 beeps. And that's actually 5 because it's powering off, but nothing happens. And you have to open it up and you have to pull the battery out. And when you pull that battery out, you've lost that shot. That happens a lot with GoPros. It happened today with this one, this 8. I was out filming and oh, something, so mad about this. I filmed some, it's called Time Warp on the GoPro, and it's called, let's see if I can get away with that, get away from that. And it's because I'm not bending down here. It's called Time Warp on the GoPro and Hyperlapse on the Osmo. And I was out on the trail this morning. I was gonna include, oh, by the way, there's a new video coming. I totally missed that at the beginning. Right after this live stream, there's a new video launching, and you guys will be the first to see it, but it is nothing like anything I have ever done. It's kind of a serendipity type thing. I don't know how this is gonna go over. I hope it doesn't get people mad. So it's very different. So we'll talk about that in just a minute. But I was out filming. I had this upside down, mounted to below my handlebars, and I had this mounted at the rear of the bike. And I was gonna do my morning loop. What I do when I go out to the trail to get in a nice little morning ride, it's 3 miles. I just take this little loop around Wildwood, not all of Wildwood, just this one specific path, because it offers everything that makes a ride fun. And it's not too demanding. And sometimes I take my time and just casually, you have those days where you get out and you want to ride, but you're just not feeling that hard exertion effort ride. So it's fun sometimes to just ride a trail and kind of look around. That's the times that I've came up really close to deer on the trail, and sometimes I've stopped and they'll just stay and look at me. So it's really fun stuff. But I was wanting to kind of capture my morning ritual, upside down. I wanted to capture my morning ritual with a hyperlapse and a time lapse combo going around. Got the hyperlapse with this, and by the way, I found out I'm going to need a gimbal to do it with this because it rattled too much on the handlebars for the Rocksteady to handle. But the GoPro, the only way that I have found to get to time warp is to do it via the phone app, which I did. But it turns out when you turn off the GoPro, it defaults back to regular video. So I set everything up. You could set this to 4K, 2K, whatever, and turn it off and turn it back on, and it stays at that setting. Apparently, the time warp only works while that app's going or something because it kept resetting. So I got shaky footage with this camera. I thought, no problem, I'll just use this, and it'll just be a back view of the entire ride. It was a regular footage, recording regular footage, so I couldn't use it. I got mad and I deleted it all. So yeah, but that's Gino Wasco. Thank you for asking. And that is one of the glitches. Is it will lock up. The Hero 9 locks up a lot. Again, Hero 8 here, but the Hero 9 locks up, and I came so close to buying a Hero 9 today. And it was so funny. I watched a guy review it, and he updated his review. He put it out when it first came out, then he did a 6-month update, and then 2 months ago, he talked about how he was going to this. And the guy does a really good job, covers everything, but I thought it was funny. He bragged about the Hero 9, again, Hero 8, but he bragged about the Hero 9's footage being so stable that you don't need a gimbal anymore. He's like, I don't understand why anyone would talk about it being so big and you need a gimbal because you don't, because it's so smooth. But then 2 months later, he was talking about going back to this, and he was showing them side by side. And he was talking about how the skyline would move a lot with the Hero 9. So, interesting. Really holding out for that Osmo Action 2. Come on, DJI. Give us an alternative, a viable alternative. Because this, I found some uses for this. I really have. These little Osmo Actions for $199, I have found some definite. There are some things it does better. Some things it does better. So I'll be using both. You'll be seeing a lot of footage. Matter of fact, you've already seen it, and I just didn't talk about it in a video. I've seen some Osmo footage. Let's get to another high five. Oh, and I forgot to do the high fives. Wait a minute, I always did that. And you guys can even do the high five little emojis. Get back to everyone. I started out with Elron Ritz, so high five to you. What we got here? Come on. Yeah, that's a down arrow. And high five to Michael TMG. High five to Molson 1990. High five to Alan Lynn. And high five to you, Gina Wasco. Actually, I'll give you a high 10 because you are awesome. You and your husband. Been very nice to the channel, and I appreciate you. Now, Joshua Landers. He's talking about about 1x cranksets. If I do this on my aluminum dot, I'm assuming he means aluminum comp, because I'm not aware of an aluminum dot. But on his aluminum dot comp, do I have to change my rear cassette or derailleur? Well, first off, you have a freewheel, unless you've modified your bike. But no, you do not. I'm assuming you haven't modified anything since you're asking about this. But no, you don't. However, a 7-speed 14 to 28 tooth freewheel, that's a tough haul with only one chainring up front. So, yeah, high five to you. Well, do it this way, so it's actually a high five, right? Not off the screen. This is about the $578 Hyper E-Ride mount we've talked about already from Al Watts. What is the max weight of this e-bike? He's talking about the weight that it can handle, how much weight it can handle. 270, I can't do the 7 and the 5. 275 pounds is the max rider weight. Listed right on the top of the top two on both it and the E-Ride City. So I assume most of the Hyper e-bikes will be that. So 275 pounds. High five to you. Thank you for your question. Next, from my last live stream, along with Gina Wasco, it's at Brett Streams. Again, I'm on a display that's a little blurry, so it's hard to see. And he is talking to someone, Fred Molinado, and said there seems to be a misconception about the full suspension seat post and full suspension. And you can read the rest of it there. But I included this because he's not technically asking a question; he's answering someone else's question, and it had to do with the electrics. You know, electric sells a seat post. We were right there. A seat post that has a little shock absorber built into the post itself. So you sit down, it kind of squishes down. I did a Uniro e-bike that had one on it. Those are not a full, that does not make your bike full suspension. Since you have a fork up front with suspension, that does not make a rear suspension. It's just a little bit of extra shock absorption, as our buddy Brett Streams mentioned. So it just helps with fatigue and your back and your booty, so you don't get worn out there. Bad terming. But high five to you. Thank you for your comment. And the next one here on High Five Friday is on the 2020 Schwinn Aluminum Comp. This was back when I had just taken the head tube, the lower headset cup and the upper out, and I was upgrading that. And Alfredo Theo Capilli said, do you have to change the headset? Do I have to change the headset on my 2020 comp, even though it's not broken? Or is it a must when changing the forks? Well, Alfredo, that depends upon what fork you're putting in. If you are putting in a tapered head tube fork, then yes, you will need to get a different lower headset cup to accept that new taper. If you are using a straight steerer fork, no, you could use the factory headset lower cup and bearing, assuming that the bearings aren't all messed up, which a lot of them are for some reason, on those tapered head tube Schwinns. I think they're possibly improving on that. But the thing is, the crown race, you have to use that specific crown race because it's special for that lower headset. Very difficult to get that off. I gave up. I had the local bike shop try, and they gave up. Basically, I think it was going to cost so much they didn't even want to try to do it because they knew it was going to cost so much. I have heard people say they could heat it and beat it and get it to move off, but no, you just note that. If you're going to change that with a straight steer fork, you're going to have to get that off of the old fork to get it on the new one. A little difficult. If you're going to tapered, you do have to change the lower headset cup. This is about the Electric XP. This is the original, right there, the 1.0. And they asked, this is a review from 2019 Electric. What electric? I almost said electric. Electric. What's the differences that make the 2.0 better? And you see, this is 6 days ago. I compiled all this over time, so it's kind of snuck in there and I forgot to delete it. But Lance Robbins, high five to you for your question, first and foremost. And also, I don't think I did a high five to Alfredo, but the 2.0, you can now see it in the video. Here it is, a little beauty. So watch that review video if you haven't already. That will answer your question. This is on the 2020 Schwinn Axum dropper post. And are you guys happy I'm not wasting paper? Some complained I had printed it all out last time. So not wasting it now. Rob Lee, I almost said Robin. Rob Lee says, you can always tell a cheap bike from the chrome look fork tubes. Still not too bad for entry level. Looks nice. He's talking about the Schwinn Axum DP and its fork. Not true always with those chrome stanchions. I have RockShox forks with chrome stanchions. There are good forks. That's not the best indicator. The best indicator is to look and see if those stanchions are painted. If they are painted, and I'm not talking about anodized, I'm talking about straight up painted. You know what I mean? The cheap. I don't even have one in. Oh, I do, but they're all up in the loft. Got a dozen cheap forks up there. But the painted ones, that's a good telltale sign. If the stanchions are a small diameter and they're painted, that's 2 marks off. And then you can usually see that the seals on those very same forks are horrible. And you can tell just by looking at them. So, and I'm going to be making a video about that because there's going to be a potential blog post that's going to coincide with the video. So I'll talk about that more in an upcoming video in early June. I do believe. So we'll see about that. But high five to you, Mr. Robin Lee. Or Robley. Why do I keep saying Robin? Sorry about that, Rob. Okay, this is from Almost Awesome with Will. Very good name. And you commented on just kind of a random video there. That was at Mother's Day, on Mother's Day. Why did you pick the hardtails over the Hyper Hydroform or Project XR? Quite a few people ask me that. I like Project Comp V2. It fits me. It works so well. There are those bikes that you get, even in the face of some things possibly being better in certain forms or better out of the box. That bike fits me frame-wise. Standover's perfect. Reach is perfect, especially now that it's upgraded. And it took all my upgrade parts so well and has performed so well with them. That's what I was riding today when I did the video that you will see this right after this, which again, totally different than any video I have ever done on this channel, and gonna not be what the channel's switching to. We'll talk about that video here in just a second, because after this, I'm gonna do a Take 10 giveaway, or Take 10 question and answer if anybody wants to ask anything. So go ahead and get your questions in, and I'll try to look at those, and then we'll do the giveaway for this, or over here, the Schwinn aluminum comp, 2020 Schwinn aluminum comp. Still has a wheel card. Can't even see it. Still has, there it is. Still has the wheel card in it. You know, I just used it for that one clip, put it back in there, and that's even the factory wheel. I took the factory wheel off of it on the front so that I wouldn't mess up that wheel card, ripping it out. So, but at that time, I didn't know I was going to be giving it away online. I thought I'd be giving it away to somebody local, but it just worked out the way it does. Let's look here. So that's the answer to that. High five to you. Almost Awesome with a Will. Next is the Rattan Fat Bear Plus. This is where DIY Solar doesn't know that he is coming in. So if you could unmute your phone, DIY Solar Energy.
Yep, I'm here.
Okay, and this is saved. Can you read what that says? Because it's too blurry. It looks like Save DJ Outlord and Savior. DJ Our Saved
Saved
J.
by our Lord and Savior.
Okay. Again, this is all blurry on my screen. I'm on a TV that I'm using as a monitor, and when I had it on a 50-inch TV, it looked great. This is a 32-inch, and for some reason it's all grainy. All grainy. Even though I've got the resolution set properly. Okay, so he wants to know, does the Rattan still work? And the reason that I brought DIY Solar Energy on here, and I don't know how well you're going to be able to hear him, so comment if you can, and I will relay what he says, because we're on this, using this horrible mic, because for whatever reason, my Brio, you know, the mic may have died on that Brio, ironically. Just threw away the box today, or yesterday with recycling. Threw away the box, and DIY Solar Energy knows I usually keep my boxes, but it'd be ironic if it died. So does that Rattan still work?
Absolutely 100%. Everything still works, including the iPass, the regenerative charging. I ride the bike once or twice a week still working flawlessly.
And you not only ride that bike once or twice a week, you've crashed that bike, right?
I have crashed it, yes. I have.
You have crashed that bike. You're about to upgrade it.
Yes, matter of fact, we're just getting everything prepared to redo that battery pack. Even though it really doesn't need it, but I want to make it the longevity of the cells or more power last longer.
Exactly. So, and that will be something that may be a collaboration between KevCentral and DIY Solar Energy. So look forward to that. Or at the very least, I'll probably be in it helping him. I'm thinking about maybe heading down there. We're both vaccinated. So I'm thinking about heading down there and maybe us riding or something or other things and going over some of his bikes and stuff like that. But I knew he would be the best answer for that because he has that Rattan. And he's ridden it, he's crashed it, so it held up to that. He also rides it with a kid on it and sometimes pulling two kids, right?
That's correct. Yeah, I've got the little child trailer, if you may say, that you pull behind the bikes, and it pulls me, which is I'm a pretty good sized guy, and my two children behind me with no problem.
Yeah, so there you go. There you go, saved by our Lord and Savior, Yeshua. So there you go. It does still work. High five to you, and high five to DIY Solar Energy for coming on. He didn't even know that was happening. So there you go.
I will mention to you before you do the giveaway, can we take a break and discuss that before you do the giveaway?
Take a break and discuss what?
Just maybe take out like a little 30-second break so I can transfer some information to you.
Oh, yeah, we can. Okay, but first, got to finish this High Five Friday. And I don't know how many, I think I had 21 of them, so I got to be getting pretty close. Embark 27.5, that was that Cycle Kids bike. A little tip here. What's the price and what's the front fork? Can't find the Embark on the site. Please respond, Jim. That is James Ciabattoni. James, that bike is no longer on the market. Now, unfortunately, I guess they discontinued it. No longer on the market. Shame. Good bike. Not crazy about the naming scheme, but good bike. No longer on the market. And the reason that I put this up, two reasons, but the main one, so many people have asked about that bike, and within the last, I would say 2 months for some reason, people are asking about that bike. So clearly people are still going to that Cycle Kids website, maybe buying their kids' bikes, and then looking for the upline. Genesis Saraceno mountain bike from Walmart. I got rid of that bike. Where can I find replacement brake pads for this bike? That uses standard Shimano. Oh, wow. Super chat. First one of the night. E-Bike Mike. A regular. What did you do? Get rid of the XR Pro squeak, and where was it coming from for you? What did you do to get rid of the XR Pro squeak? And where was it coming from? Okay, but Mike, you've caught me unawares. You've caught me unawares. I have no idea what you're talking about. Did I have a squeak on the XR Pro that I do not remember?
Maybe the brakes.
Are you talking about the brakes, e-bike Mike? And first off, I get ring a bike bell for you here. Does this have? I forgot. They don't have a bike bell on the new. I'll have to ring one of the others. And they're upside down. Where are they? Ah, whatever. Ring, ring. There's your bike bell. Sorry about that. I've got all the handlebars folded down. The new electric, I don't think I mentioned it. It doesn't come with a bell. The others came with the bell, and you know, I criticized them about that bell back when I first got the first one because I thought it was so funny. It was all this technology and then that little rudimentary spring-loaded bell. It turns out those are the best bells. So there, but they don't put one on the new one, and I don't have a bell here, but I do have Copernicus can tell you hi. Hello. So there you go. Thank you for the super chat. And your squeaks, now you're talking about at the suspension? You think it's coming from the 3x or the spring? Well, I would hope it's coming from the spring, because if your 3x is starting to make a squeak, then you may have either the bottom bracket isn't greased, the bottom bracket isn't tight, which usually make a clunk, or it could be that the crank arms are not on there tight. All of that can do, or even I've had pedals squeak before. Could be that. But it very well could be the shock. Very well could be. And there's our friend. I only allow it because he's been here so long. He is an evangelist for Alibaba. I'm pretty sure. Probably gets paid by Alibaba. I don't think he does. I think he just likes the products. But he talks about frames and stuff all the time. That $217 isn't bad for a carbon frame. Maybe I'll go look at that.
I was just about to delete it.
Don't delete our buddy Theo. Theo and me disagree on quite a few things with bikes, but they have been around. I mentioned it in the last live stream. Loyalty gets you a long way with me. They've been around for a long time. I mean, back, and he says it's the spring. So I hope so. Whoever it was, who was it? Was it Ebot Mike? Yeah, about the thing. And thanks again. Super chat, I really appreciate that. Thanks. Grease it up. Well, if you grease it, it's not. Yeah, well, you'll see. You can just grease the shaft there at the spring, and see if that does it. But you know, that's not the best rear suspension, those little spring suspensions that they put on those. So yeah, anyway, get back to this. And replacement brake pads, Amazon, where you can find cheap replacement brake pads. I'm pretty sure that it is the same as these Corkies, which I will make sure to put on my Amazon store, which you can go to my website, you can click on shop and down to bike parts and go look at some parts. I've added quite a few on there. There's a bunch of other stuff I was going to pile up here to add to show you stuff that I've started buying and using recently, but you'll see it all in videos eventually anyway. Eastwood, so high five Friday to, who is that? Martin Padilla. High five to you. Eastwood asks, 50 millimeters of travel is nothing. Or he says, not asks. 50 millimeters of travel is nothing. 80 millimeters at the very least. 100 millimeters should be the standard for suspension forks. Yes, that would be nice. What he's talking about, because he commented to someone else, it didn't include the header. He's talking about this. Electric XP and that fork right there. I measured the travel. And what I do when I do travel, and I've noticed this on a lot of the cheap forks, the cheap Amazon forks. And I'm not saying cheap big box. I'm talking about you get on Amazon, you buy some of those forks. I've seen them marketed as 120 millimeters of travel. And what they do is they measure from where the stanchion tube starts and where the crown right there begins, or the, I think that's called the crown support. Where that begins right there, they measure that entire thing sometimes. I've seen the same forks. One will say 100 millimeters of travel and another will say 120 millimeters, 140 millimeters of travel. That is not the right way to measure travel. The right way to measure travel is to how much available travel there is for the fork when it actually bottoms out. And I've bottomed this out enough. What'll happen, they'll leave little marks where there's a little bit of grease in there. And even on air forks, you know, there's lubricant in there. And you'll see with dust and stuff, you can see a line. And you can measure that line. That'll give you actual travel. And this, I measured 50 millimeters, but it's probably maybe 60. But I measured 50 usable. But, you know, on this bike like this, 50's fine. 50's fine. That's not going to make a hill of beans difference if I had 100 millimeters of travel on this. Where I'm going to be riding this bike, Brian G. Thank you for the $5 super chat. I really appreciate it. I really do. And I'll read it in just a second. But that is why it doesn't matter. So, but on mountain bikes and stuff, it does. High five to you, Eastwood. Now let's get to Brian G. with the super chat. Thank you so much. Virtual mental ring of the bike bell for you. Thank you for such great content. I recently got a medium Axum DP. A lot of people. Congratulations, by the way. Very good. Very good. Because of all the information you give. Couldn't be happier. I like to hear that. I like to hear people that wanted a bike, went bike shopping, did the research. Oh, get that out of the way. Did the research, and then made a decision based on the information that was presented. Not because of anyone's saying buy this or do that. Made their own determination and then ended up happy with their product. That's what happens when you do research. And that is so awesome. Thank you. A lot of people so happy with those medium Axum DPs, myself included. This guy, very happy with them. So thank you so much. Again, ring in the brain for the bike bell, because I don't have one I can reach because they're all folded up and stuff. Thank you so much. Get back to what's got to be some of the last questions here. Oh, that one's all kinds of... there we go. Wait, what are they talking about? 3x7 drivetrain, good or bad? And this is Brian Z. Oh, yes. Can I scoot over this way? Yeah, here we go. Let me scoot over and look at the camera. Now, I want KevCentral to be a channel for everyone. Everyone can be part of this channel, and I appreciate that. Dissenting opinions are fine. Matter of fact, if you're watching something that doesn't accept dissenting opinions, it's usually not right, because not taking in both sides of the story. But I want to read this, and I'm not slamming Brian Z, not by any stretch. But I want to read this because, well, you'll see. Because so we're talking about 3x drivetrains, and I, as you know, am an advocate of 1x drivetrains. And if you don't know what that is, that's one little chain ring up front, just like it's on the electric there. And a 3x is what's on this Schwinn here. It's 3 gears. So you have to have a front derailleur to shift between those 3 front gears. And on the 1x you don't. Less complexity, less weight, just less stuff to go wrong, to maintenance, all that. Then there are trade-offs. Gear range goes down. So he says more complexity for a 2x or a 3x. Like moving your left thumb to get the derailleur to go up and down. So he's implying that that's added complexity. Well, here we go. Even though it's the wrong hand, but added complexity to do this or shift. That's where he's thinking here. And he says, how is that complex unless you've never ridden a bike before? And 1.5 pounds saved. Because those 3x's are heavy. They're steel, they're heavy. And you have the derailleur and you have the shifter you lose, and that's about 1.5 pounds. You can easily ditch off of a bike by getting rid of that. And he says, that's nothing when you look at the weight of most people. Think of someone who weighs 150 pounds. I weigh 165. Been losing, even though I've been riding e-bikes. I lost that 4 pounds I gained, so I'm happy about that. But 165 here, so keep that in mind. He says 150, which is on the light side. That's a weight savings of 1%. Throw in the weight of your bike, and that's less than 1%. Have you personally had problems with the so-called, quote, big box bikes? Now remember, and that's what makes me think this isn't a subscriber, because I don't think you'd be a subscriber to this channel and kind of insinuate that I don't know anything about big box bikes or that I'm shunning big box bikes. Couldn't be anything more different than that. But or is this hearsay? It just sounds like you're fabricating. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. Fabricating all these issues, and with Cadence having a 3x covers all your terrain. That's a valid point. You can cover a bit of range and easily with a 3x in some situations. Is it fun riding 1x on flat ground with your feet moving 1,000,000 miles an hour while you're going nowhere? I'm going to leave this up there for a second so you can kind of read. So I just want to break this down. And again, I'm not slamming Brian Z. I'm just talking about the line of thought here. Because clearly they like 3x. And that is fine. If you like 3x, more power to you. I reviewed that Cascade, and I said in that case, I'm glad it came with a 3x. It was better riding it up the hill rather than, because of the way that bike just meshed out, I felt better with it as a 3x. At its price, I still would have liked to have had a good 1x, but at its price, since it was a 3x, I was glad that they went with that rather than a 1x7 or a 1x8 on that bike. So, fine, if you like 3x, but I start disagreeing when first there's some insinuations made that someone is just slamming big box bikes or doesn't know anything about big box bikes, and or don't understand what I'm saying when I'm talking about. And that's not a problem if someone doesn't understand, but let me clarify. When I say I'm talking about complexity, I'm talking about removing a derailleur. That is less to adjust. You don't have to have a derailleur to adjust, and anyone that has ridden a big box 3x knows that they can be finicky. They can be very finicky, those little cheap 3x's. I mean, they're cheap 3x's. That's the way it is. Non-branded derailleurs, they're hard to adjust. You get them adjusted, sometimes they don't stay in adjustment. So you get that factored out. You factor out the fact that a lot of people get confused with shifting 3 up front and then 7 or 6 or 8 or whatever at the rear. They can get confused by that if they're a novice rider, especially if they're trying to do it at the trail. And I've seen people shift both at the same time in the wrong directions. And that's, you're shifting, where am I at here? You're shifting here to here and here to here at the same time. That's not good. Not good. And there's that, but it's the weight saved. If you don't think 1.5 pounds on a bike makes a difference, I think we have different concepts of what riding is and probably ride on different types of terrain. Because I can tell you, at my local mountain bike trails, 1.5 pounds makes a world of difference. I have ridden bikes that are 31 pounds shave them down to under 30, because there's something that happens when you get a bike under 30 pounds, a mountain bike. And in my opinion, you get it to 28. That's my sweet spot, 28. 28 to 29, very good sweet spot. That's different. And that is different than a person's weight, because you're moving around that mass different than you are propelling your weight. So when I'm talking about weight savings, it's not about how much weight I'm propelling, it's how much I'm manipulating on a mountain bike trail. So I hope that if you see this, that you are starting to understand where I'm going there, as far as the weight and as far as the reduced complexity. And as far as riding on flat ground with your feet moving 1,000,000 miles an hour, that is not very accurate, because of a one by. You still have, even if I go with a 30-tooth chain ring, depending upon the cassette that I use, or even in the case of some of these, like the Boundary and the Taft and the Axle, they're a one by with a 30-tooth up front, but they're geared with such a range that you don't run out of pedal on flat ground. I've never had that happen. Never heard of anyone that has had that happen. I have heard of people complain about not being fast enough downhill. So maybe some legitimacy there, but not on flat ground. No. So I think that you maybe don't know what a modern one by is like, and you might want to try it. You might be impressed. So I was hesitant about doing this because this is almost like I'm nitpicking someone, and I don't like to do that. I don't want to pick anyone apart. But I do want to pick apart some arguments that are, in my opinion, incorrect. And again, this is all my opinion. So I could be wrong. I know that I'm not on this. I do it all the time. So I know that I'm not. But I wanted to share that as part of it. So high five to you. Well, over here. You're over here. High five to you, Brian Z. And now, got to be getting to the end. Got to be. Who's this? Virginia Beach Kevin. Well, first off, Kevin, clearly tell that you are a classy person with a name like Kevin. Gotta be. Possibly royalty. Possibly royalty. But you say, I believe that the bottle cage mount is actually a mount for the optional lock. He is talking, or they, or yeah, let's say he there, is, well, could be they, is talking about that bottle cage where I said there were the two mounts here on the back of this electric. And as I showed earlier, so you can go back and watch, I have a concept bottle cage mounted. It does take a little bit of work because that is for the lock. So you are correct there. Thank you for that. See what I've got. Get back here. And maybe, nope, still got them. Still got them. So we've got, this is on the electric again. How do you mount the GoPro for the shot at 732? A lot of people wanted to know about that shot. That, if you've watched that video, that is where I had kind of the camera down here looking forward. It was really low, and it was looking forward as I was riding, and I was getting all the back action and stuff. That was a combination of a broken GoPro suction mount, like you stick on the window of a car or on the side of a car, but a broken one, a bunch of zip ties, and some painter's tape. That is how, horrible looking contraption, but it worked. It worked. And my other version of it was a selfie stick that was painter's tape to the back. But the broken suction cup without a suction cup on it, that mount and zip ties and painter's tape worked better. So there you go. Now, Andy on the same bike. Well explained, is the upgrade seat wider than the popular Cloud 9? Andy, is that Andy? Yeah, Andy is talking about this. I call it, stuff on it there. I call this the Barca Lounger because this thing is huge. I don't know how wide the Cloud 9 is. Oh, I got a little blurry there, didn't I? There we go. I don't know how wide the Cloud 9 is, but I can tell you how wide this is because I have my Craftsman tape measure. I'm gonna measure this end to end here if I don't stab myself with the springs. This is roughly 10 and a half inches. Well, some people like metric. So let me, this is 10 and 1, 2, 3, 10 and 3/8 inches wide, or what's that equate to? 26.5 centimeters. So there you go. That's how wide this is. This Barca Lounger seat that I'm going to try out. I'm going to try this out. Man, that is a big saddle. I laughed. I seriously laughed when I pulled that out of the box. So there you go. Andy. Eugene Krabs. Eugene Krabs comments a lot. I haven't seen him tonight. I haven't looked in a while here in the chat, but Eugene Krabs comments a lot. You're ever thinking about doing a Project Ascension, Aggressor Pro, or Colorado Comp? Maybe the TAF as well. The TAF is maybe on the potential list. The Ascension, no. I might do some tweaks on the Ascension. I'm going to do a follow-up video that compares the Ascension with the Boundary. I've seen people that have an Ascension and have said this is just like a Boundary. They are not. I can put them side by side, and I want to do that and show that they are in fact different. Not only that, it seems like the Boundary is a little better made. Nothing wrong with the Ascension. Just when you have them stacked side by side, you can kind of see it. And I will say that Ascension, those graphics, ooh, nice looking. High five to you, Eugene Krabs. Also, high five to you, Andy. Box to box. I think I missed you, and just in case, for our Virginia Beach Kevin, classic name there. Krabs, and finally, get to the end of the high five. That kind of drew out, didn't it? High Five Friday to everyone. So there you go. People that have wanted a high five. About to spit all over everything. People that wanted a High Five Friday. So now let me go back to chat. Just give a quick look before we get to what I've completely blocked. Well, now I'm making it worse. Completely blocked. We're going to be giving away this bike tonight. But before we do that, I need to get a graphic sent over that I might not have. I hope he has. So we'll see. But let me look really quick here. Just give some highs to everyone. And again, I go back. I look at all these messages. So I will read everything you've said. See, C. Griggs 4, Marlin 5. Congrats on that. Foxtrot, hello to you. Did you forget about Super Chat? Mr. Clicks. Did someone Super Chat and I missed it? If I missed the Super Chat, let me scroll up here. I got Brian G. No, talk to Brian about his comment. I know I got the ones before that. Yeah, Ebach Mike was before that. I know I covered that. So I got everyone's Super Chat. Cruise Enthused. 10,000, I don't know what you're talking about there. Hey, Mr. Wasco. There's Mr. Wasco responding to somebody. Hello to you. Thank you for being here. I answered a question from your wife from the last live stream just a little bit earlier. I don't know if you saw that or not. Cruise Enthused. I'm over the bars. That doesn't sound good. I hope that doesn't happen. And lots of conversation in between people. Let's see. And there's somebody talking about the one by. So I'll just skip through because this is a lot to read. I see a lot of files here. Australia. Files F. Sir, well, hello. Thank you for being here from Australia. I appreciate that. You don't speak Spanish. Saludos. Brian G. So a lot of conversation. So what I'll do is I'll just skip past because I don't want to try to read and pick out with all that scrolling around. Let's just get straight to this bike giveaway. But before we do, I'm going to go away for just a moment and then we'll come back. Plus I got to get something moved here so I can move some stuff. So let me put you on mute here. I'm going to go to the Be Right Back screen and Okay, we are back, and I trying to get a graphic to pop up for the winner. So I'm just gonna type it here on the screen. We'll see how this works out. Let me do text, and this is super professional here. Read from file. Where do I put the text at? Where do I put the... All right, I'm going to do this. All right, hold on. We're going old school here because I have a Sharpie. We are going old school. So what I have done, I was going to do an on-screen drawing, like an active on-screen drawing, but it got kind of complex because if you knew about this giveaway, here it is. I did this giveaway on Instagram. And there was some rules with it. It was down in the description, and you had to meet all the qualifications. Number one, you had to be a subscriber of KevCentral. You had to come to Instagram and be a follower there. You had to comment on that Instagram post with KevCentral. But I was nice, and I included, there were some people that said KevCentral. There were Kev variations, like where people would, like Kelvin Central, things like that. I knew what they meant, so I included that. But anyone that didn't say that, and I even went in and reminded some people that didn't say it to say it, they never did. So out of all, I can't remember what the total number is. I don't know if DIY Solar Energy has that, but there were 800 and something likes or follows, but there were only 534, I think it was 500 something comments. But then there was something like 360 or something like that. I don't know the exact number. People that met all the criteria. So out of that pool, I was going to do and take it out and do a random generator and show that. But I had some problems. As you can tell, I've had problems with my audio because we're on this horrible mic. So I've had problems with audio. Yeah, no hat. Patrick Jenkins, yeah, you're late to the stream. Well, welcome here. So... and yeah, got my hair cut and everything. So it caused a problem. I've had some problems with my Streamlabs, so I couldn't do that. So what I did, to be fair, we had Mr. DIY Solar Energy has a random generator that I think he actually wrote. Did you write that, or is it just something you had?
Yeah, it's one that I wrote.
You one that he wrote, because he has done some programming in his time. So he had a random number generator or random generator that pulled the available comments and met the criteria and all that. And we ended up, just got it here. I'm going to write this down, the winner here, because I was going to show it on the screen, but having some issues here. Because this is the person that won. I don't run out of room. Yeah, I'm not going to. Before I show it, let me just show everyone what they won. And if you didn't win this, if you entered the giveaway and you met all the criteria, don't worry, because in just a second, I just realized I didn't move this bike, which I kind of need to move. But I'm gonna roll in the second bike that's starting probably tomorrow, maybe Sunday. I will be posting for the next giveaway, and that will be the June giveaway. So at this time in June, or roughly this time in June, there'll be the second bike. So if you don't win this one, but let me just show you. If you choose, if you didn't know, this is the Schwinn Aluminum Comp 2020 edition. Still has the wheel card in the wheel. I love how those roughly stay in place. And I will adjust on this, where I put this wheel on, this disc brake rubs, but I'll get this all adjusted. Now, there was a couple of things about this giveaway. Number one, you have to pick the bike up. It's all in the rules. So the winner here, it's their responsibility to come to Florence, Alabama, which is where I'm at, to either pick this up, or I'm willing to drive about an hour away, hour circle, to meet someone so they can pick up their bike. Or if they want to arrange shipping with the UPS store, I could just roll this bike up to the UPS store. Don't go in. It's a COVID risk. But I could roll this up to you, all that, and say, hey, I'm here with the bike for this person, and hand it to them, and they can box them up, ship it, whatever. But either way, that is the way it goes, and I will be letting them know right after this. If they might be watching, I don't know. If they're not, I'll be letting them know on Instagram that they've won. So the winner of this 2020 Schwinn Aluminum Comp, which is mint, is Paul.Maloney.Jr. on Instagram. So Paul Maloney Jr., congratulations. You are the winner of this bike, bike number 1 on the bike giveaways. And now I'm going to wheel this out of the way because I want to bring in the next bike that's going to be given away. So let me get this off the screen. I'm going to go to my Be Right Back screen. Did I take that off the screen? I think I took that off the screen. What have I got up here? I brought that back by accident. So I'm going to take this off. Oh, I know why. Because I've got the eyeball on it here. I'm going to go to my Be Right Back screen, and I'm going to make a little noise, moving all this bike out of the way. Oh, if I knocked it over, that would not have been. And bring in this next bike. And there's a reason. There is a reason that I included this bike mentioned in the High Five Friday. There was a reason for that, because the next bike that I'm giving away is right here. And it is that Embark, that Cycle Kids Embark, 27.5 wheels, a medium frame, Kenda, what are those? Small block 8s, Kenda small block 8 tires. It is a 1x with an Acera derailleur. What a cassette or a freewheel? Looks like a cassette. Has a cassette on it. This is a nice bike. It's not heavy. It's perfect for somebody 5'10". And if you liked the Raleigh Redux, this very similar. Very, very similar look to the Raleigh Redux. So that's going to be, and you guys are the first to see it. That's the first, or the second bike in the 3 bikes in 3 months giveaway. So be sure you stay, and oh wow, Dennis Wynn looking there. I say, ooh, or yeah, he's really happy about that. So definitely wanna go get registered for this, and I will do that on Instagram. So make sure you go to Instagram. I forgot my Instagram. KevCentral Official. KevCentral Official. I'm not that hyped on Instagram. Personally, I don't see how I got so popular because it's horrible compared to other social, especially compared to YouTube. I think YouTube is so much better. But be sure that you go to KevCentral Official and follow that, because within the next day or two, I will be making a post. Yes, that is a rigid fork on the front, a full rigid, just like the Raleigh Redux 3. Again, very similar bike, very similar ride. This is basically a little mountain bike in street bike guys. So it's an urban assault bike is what Raleigh calls the Redux, and this fits that bill. It's a nice riding little bike. So be sure, head over to KevCentral Official for that. And now I'm going to wrap this up tonight, but I want to go over one last thing, one last surprise right after this video. As a matter of fact, I'll make it live while we're talking here. Get Copernicus perched here. Don't jump, Copernicus. I'm going to make this live. I have a video, but this is very, very different. So I want your feedback in this video. So be sure you comment in the comment section on that video if you really like this, because what I did, I talked about our ride the morning loop. I just enjoy the trail, and there are mornings where it just feels right. It's not hot or it's not cold. It's just that perfect morning, and the sun's just right. It's twinkling through the trees. And sometimes I quit riding and I just sit there and look around. And a lot of things melt away when that happens. It's almost like meditation in a way. So what I did was I created a video. I call it Trailquility, not tranquility, Trailquility. And I made a video where I play 5 minutes. I've got the aluminum comp sitting on because that's what I was riding this morning, aluminum comp, Project Comp V2. I've got it sitting in front of the camera. I just perched the camera up. And the trees, you can see the wind blowing. You can hear the birds chirping. There's, I think, a goose or something in the background that makes a noise here or there. A little frog hopped across it. I don't know if it shows up well, but a frog hopped across. I stood way back, so there's no noises for me or any human. There's some sticks falling. I'm about to make this go live. So make sure, if you like this video, that you comment, because I was thinking maybe doing this maybe once a month, finding different places that I ride that I stop. Because sometimes even in the city, I'll stop and just watch cars go by and things like that. I've discovered on YouTube, there's some popularity with channels where it's just nature or it's just a cup of coffee steaming that people will watch that in the background. So I thought, maybe if I made this, I could share just a brief little snippet of what it's like and how much joy and tranquility I actually get out of trail riding. So maybe I can share that, and regardless of the day someone's had, it might give them just that 5 minutes or so of tranquility, or trailquility as I'm calling it. So I'm going to make this live. Let me get over here to my uploads, and then we'll end this video.
And by the way, Paul's in chat.
Do what?
Paul, the bike winner's in the chat, by the way.
Paul said what?
Paul is in chat, the guy that won the bike.
Oh, he is. Okay. Well, we won't end it just yet. Hold up. So Paul is here. Paul Maloney. Oh, dude, that is awesome. Congratulations. Here's your bike. Wait, no, your bike's over there now. Your bike's over there. Here's the next one. So, yeah, congratulations. I will message you on Instagram just to be official about it, but head over to my website and go ahead and get on the chat or get registered on the site and get in there and message me, and we'll get everything arranged. I'll have you comment with something. I'll give you a code or something to comment with on Instagram just to make sure that it's you. And then we'll get this bike, we'll get it arranged so that you can either come pick this up or arrange the shipping and get your bike. So congratulations, man. It's so awesome that you're here. That is super awesome. I'm very glad. Okay, so now, here we go. I'm making this public, and again, this is very different, guys and gals, everyone. So very, very different. So please share what you think about this in the comments for this video if you'd like to see stuff like this. And it's by no means going to take the place of bike reviews or anything like that. I'm talking maybe one extra video a month or something like that. So there you go. It's live. Thank you for being part of this live stream. I appreciate everyone that's here, all the commenters, all the chatters, the super chatters. Thank you so much. And now, and you're a patron as well. Yeah, you're a patron. Contact me on Patreon. There we go. Problem solved. Thank you so much, Mr. Paul Maloney, winner of a 2020 Schwinn Aluminum Comp. And now, Instagram, head over to KevCentral Official. And after you watch the video, be sure to give that video a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. All that stuff. Thank you all so much. I'm now going to log off, and everybody can get to their Friday. Thank you for being part of this. The next live stream will be on a Monday. And I don't know if it probably won't be this next Monday. It'll probably be the Monday after that. So I'm going to do 3 a month, a Monday, a Wednesday, and a Friday. Unless I throw in an extra one at random. So thank you all so much. Hey, Paradox Mr. Boss, hello to you. Drew's Enthused, everyone. I'll read all the messages that everyone has put in here. Have a great Friday. Have a great weekend. Look forward to the next video coming out because it's a really awesome other e-bike, yet another e-bike that I'll be doing on my next review. So that's it for this live. Have a great evening.